body moving, body moving, body moving.
Happy New Year. This year for our weekly newsletter, we're going to switch things up a little bit and periodically have some videos. We know that not everybody likes to read all of our missives, so we're going to try once a month to have a video focused article that helps you with some practical tips for training. I thought this month I would start off with strength training and home gyms. If you are like me, you may not have a gym super close. It's gonna take me about 25 to 30 minutes to get to my gym, and that's one direction. So I'm an hour in before I even get to the gym. So for a lot of us, we don't have that extra hour. And I know myself personally, most days I don't have an extra hour just to drive there and back. So over the years, I have accumulated a bunch of different items to build out my home gym. So my purpose here today is to create a video for you to show you how easy and relatively inexpensive, certainly cheaper than gym fees, to set up your own home gym. So that's what we're gonna look at today.
Moving, body moving.
So first things first, I just thought I'd show you my space. This is our downstairs living room area. It's basically a mostly unused room for us because we have plenty of living space upstairs for just the two of us. So I've turned this downstairs living space outside of the bedrooms that are down here into my gym. So you can sort of see I've laid out some of my equipment that I have, but it's a pretty basic space. And then over here, I've got my treadmill and my bike. And then in this little area here, in this little throughway in here, I just store most of the equipment and it takes me less than a minute to pull it all out. And I think that's a key tip. However you set up your space, make it easy. If you've got to be moving furniture, if you've got to be changing things around, it's not gonna work. Two primary pieces you want to get, and you can get them for under $50, are a variety of different kinds of resistance bands. So you can see here, I've got the open-ended ones with the handles. That's one variety, two different kinds of resistance on those. And then I also have hanging up here my totally looped bands. So I think that this is a really key piece of equipment, as is the stability ball. If you've got bands and a stability ball, you can do most.
Moving, body moving.
Next up, you can add a bit of instability to your training with a balance board like the Mobo board or your handy dandy Bosu board. So for example, let's say squats get easy, hop on a Bosu board or hop on a Bosu ball, and all of a sudden you've added a level of instability that creates a little bit more challenge.
Moving, body moving.
Okay, I bet you're thinking, what about weights, Maria? Well, yeah, of course, weights. So a couple options here. I have a bunch of kettlebells between 5 and 15 pounds. I also have adjustable dumbbells with both 5-pound weights and 8-pound weights. So I could stack all of them onto one dumbbell and get quite a good amount of weight on there. I also have a bar with some weights I can add on. And then I also have a weighted vest. So between all of those things, I can actually do quite a bit of weighted work. But let's say you don't even have the space or the money necessarily to get these weights into your home. Take a milk gallon jug, fill it with water or sand, and voila, instant weights.
Moving, body moving.
So what I've talked about already are some of the basics that you're gonna want for your training, but there's a couple different add-ons as well, depending on your space, your available budget. For me personally, I have a TRX suspension trainer, which I have hanging outside due to the ceilings in my house, as you can see here. So I'm a little bit limited, given where I live, on how often I can use it. But I kind of actually like that because in the winter months, I'll be inside because it's a little too cold outside. And then in the summer, I'll come out and I'll do the TRX. And it's a nice novel stimulus change for my body. Another add-on that I brought in this particular year is this little Nordic curl item. I got this off of Amazon. It's relatively inexpensive. And it allows me to do hamstring exercises as well as some core exercises. Other options you might look into is a box for step-ups, Bulgarian split squats, that kind of thing. In my case, I don't have that because I have my stairs right here, as well as this little step-up area next to my stove. So I tend to use those for the step-ups. You might find, too, that you want a bench for different kinds of bench-oriented exercises. Pro tip, I actually use my Bosu as a bench, so adds a little bit of instability, but also kind of functions fairly well as a step. And then on the mobility front, get yourself a foam roller and a hard ball if you don't already have it. Yes, the boots and the guns are great, but I still think that there's a really important place for foam rollers and for hard balls for self-myofascial release.
Moving, body moving.
Lastly, let's talk about what you don't need. You don't need complicated machines, you don't need big max weights, you don't need complicated setups, and you don't need perfection. Let's not make perfect the enemy of the good enough. What I've shown you here today is more than good enough. If you're sitting here watching this video and you think, well, I only have bands and I only have a stability ball, or I only have a ball and I only have bands, we can give you a really robust strength workout that's going to reduce injury risk and help with performance. If your strength training feels too complicated, it's probably not going to happen. So keep it simple, keep it easy to access, keep it convenient, and you'll be much more likely to get it done. Talk with your coach about the equipment you have, and we'll set up a strength workout that works great for you. If you're a No Limits team member or you're on a custom training plan and you don't have one-on-one coaching, no problem. We have a series of pre-recorded workouts that we did for about 2 years that either use no equipment, very limited equipment, and then we also have another series of suspension trainer workouts. So check for that link in the written portion of this newsletter article, and you'll be able to follow along with workouts that we've pre-recorded. I think the most important thing is you want to be shooting for 2 to 3 workouts, strength workouts a week. Maybe 2 of them are resistance based, 1 of them is core based. Maybe you do upper body one day, maybe you do lower body another day, and then core another day. And then you also want to be thinking about getting in 2 to 3, maybe more mobility sessions a week. Think about the mobility sessions as also useful for your warm-ups as long as you're doing them dynamically. When it comes down to it, strength is not an add-on to your training. It's an important part of your training. It's an important part of conditioning the body to be prepared for the rigors of your endurance sport. I hope that this video has provided you with some good tips for how to create your own at-home gym. And here's little Addie telling you, lift your weights, be strong. All right, happy New Year, y'all.
Body moving, body moving.